Hi everyone, Paul Morbid here, Morbid Team Entertainment and Bolex Repair Philippines. Welcome to episode 30 of an overhaul on a Bolex Rex. So these micro screws that fit into the shutter spindle, I'm using some metal polish here and cleaning them. And what I've done is I'm removing the polish with a pipe cleaner. Okay, and right into the threads. I'm going to show you this right into the threads there, okay, with that pipe cleaner. And on the head here of the screw, I've got to go in there and clean that out in there with a micro screwdriver, okay, to get the residue of the metal polish out. All right, so that's what I've done. You gotta get the end of this too, because the very end of these screws, as you can see right there, get a bit more focus for you, there you go, is pointed. All right, and more on that later. Let's keep moving. Next, the shutter here, you have to constantly make sure it's clean, and that can be quite a situation at times. So you have a little bit of debris on it right there, and you have to keep wiping it off. All right, so you have to keep checking around on there. Give it a turn and make sure it's clean all the way around, front and back. There's some more. This is typical. When you turn it around here, here's the deal. I want you to look right close. I believe one here is, there's one, so I can focus it a bit better for you. There are these small little indentions. You'll see one here at the end of my pencil eraser if you look really close, okay? And you got to get, there's 3 of these, and you have to get those lined up. And we'll have to put this gear right here and the screw hole lined up with that. So let's get started on that. Okay, with these gears here, had to add some lubricant, and we're going to add some graphite grease right here at the end of my toothpick. And if you recall at the previous videos, we had to clean off the old graphite grease on the back of there and around, and also there was some corrosion on the gears as well. All right, and you're probably wondering what type of grease or lubricants to use, weapons oil or graphite grease, and it's really graphite grease essentially. But no matter what type of lubricant you add on these metals right here, okay, there's going to be some type of corrosion. It's going to happen. All right, and which is why I go on a good bit of the time, within the 6 months to a year, always get a new CLA on your Bolex. But when you have some some shutter issues and that type of a thing, it's sticking, this is another reason why. Okay, all right, so we're just going to add some of this on here. All right, down in here, and there's really no way to get around it. As you can see from the previous videos, you're just going to have some. There's just really not too much of anything that you can do about it. Just got to add it on there and go on. I'll finish this and we'll move on. Okay, just to show you, added the graphite grease to the gears. If you get too much on there, just use a Q-tip to remove it. Don't add too much because you don't want to get it stuck on the back of the shutter when you apply it. Okay? Next, I'm going to take the shutter, and you'll have to keep wiping off generally some type of dust or something. Alright? So take it, turn it over, set it just like it is. Alright? Just like that. And just take it and place it right on top. Just like so. When you place it in, don't force it. But you want this area here at the end of my pencil eraser to be level. And again, don't force it. You're just going to have to move it around, and eventually it's just going to seat itself in. It's going to kind of click just like it just did. And then you'll see that it just seats in properly just like so. Alright. So there we are with the shutter. Okay. Moving about. Okay. All right. After you've got that set up, now we have this bracket. And inside of there, at the end of my pencil eraser, those washers. So let's take a closer look at those. Okay, so you get the bracket, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 washers, and they're going to fit onto this shutter spindle. You can take your toothpick, whichever way you want to do it, and we're going to start fitting those on top of there. As always, I'm going to load these on here and get back to you. All right. Okay, so I've got all of the washers here on the shutter spindle. Okay. Now, for those of you who missed out previously, I'm going to take a little bit more graphite grease right here and just apply it to the inside of this bracket, just like that. Okay. All right, so next you want to take this bracket, make sure it's clean all the way around, and fit it onto the shutter spindle. Okay. Sure everything's clean there. I get a little dust. There we go. Don't force it, of course. Here again, it's going to slide straight down. Eventually, it's going to click straight on, just like that. Okay. Press it on there. Make sure it's on. It will be. And focus. There we go, Paul. You're going to have 1, 2, and 3. And they're all level. Okay. Next, these screws I'm going to put in a couple, because we're going to put that shutter spindle gear in, and I got to get that situated. And I'm going to show you some more about that. So let's take a closer look at it. Okay. I've applied some anti-seize to this screw and applied it. So I've got some more on my brush. And I'm going to add a second one to this screw area. To apply this one. Make sure you always use the proper tools. However, someone's gotten into my tool drawer and taken my proper screw driver. but at any rate, you don't put the screws tight very much on a Bolex. It's not needed. All right. So screwing this down just a touch. All right. So next, I've got to get that shutter spindle gear on here. Let's get to that. Okay, next, the gear for the spindle shutter that you see right here in these 3 screws will fit on here, of course, but at the end of the screws they have a sharp pointed edge. Here on the spindle there are 3 all the way around little indentions, not quite holes, where the end of the screws fit. So that's what we got to get into right there. All right, so first we have to fit on the gear, get those screw thread holes lined up with those little indentions. Next, line up this little indention right here. Take your spindle shutter gear, take the thread screw hole and line it up with the indention. Slide it down over there. And line it up. Need to come up a little bit more. That should be about enough. Next, I got to put one of the screws in. Okay, after you've applied the first screw, of course, it sets you up and for the rest of them to go in more smoothly. So just turn to the next one. Everything's lined up for you. And this way, with a toothpick, you can apply some anti-seize to the inside. Just like that. All right. So you're done. And now you can go ahead and add your next screw in there. And all the way around. Now once you've got all those screws done, you can turn it around to the one you originally started with, okay? And go ahead and remove that screw and add anti-seize to that one. And before I forget, I want to remove the screw also to show you the end of it. What makes it special. If you look really close at the screw, see it's pointed right at the tip right there, and that's what makes it fit into that indention within the spindle. Do contact me at the social media outlets provided on the screen, and as always, remember, do subscribe. Until next time, see ya.